What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here, ladies and gentlemen. A moderate risk of severe weather has been issued for tomorrow, Friday, March 24th, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Now, in yesterday's video, I talked about this being potentially a possibility. Well, that happened today. At around 1 o'clock in the morning, we had this going on. Yeah, so this is what we have right here. We got a 15% tornado risk right here. This is all hatched, which means there's a 15% probability of EF2 to EF5 tornadoes happening within 25 miles of a point. 10% hatched risk around that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got right here, 5% around that, and 2% from southern Illinois to the Gulf of Mexico right there. The wind threat right here is a 30%, although some of that is hatched, which means there is a 30% risk of 75 mile per hour winds happening within 25 miles of a point, and the hail risk is actually the lowest risk at 15% right here. So to me, this looks like it's not going to be as much of a hail threat, and it's going to be more like a tornado threat early on, and that's going to be turn into more of a wind threat as this thing turns into a squall line. Let's go ahead and read to what the SBC is thinking about this. Current thinking is that initial development is most likely to occur in the Texas-Louisiana border vicinity. The downstream air mass will be moderately buoyant, with guidance suggesting the Cape around 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram, a max of 2 to 6 kilometer AGL lapse rates around 8 degrees Celsius per kilometer. Robust vertical wind shear is also expected, with strong low-level jet of 50 to 60 knots at 850 millibars developing along the evening beneath strengthening mid-level flow. Okay, the SRH they're expecting is 2 to 300. We've seen values over that right there. So basically, what this is explaining in layman's terms is that we're looking at a discrete supercell potential early on that's going to eventually evolve into more of a squall line type thing where it's going to be more of a wind threat. So the tornado threat's going to be happening likely tomorrow afternoon to early evening, and then by mid-evening, late evening, we're looking at more of a squall line development as this continues to push east. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Day 3 outlook. Yes, this continues into Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. That's likely going to be the remnants of that squall line right there. So definitely something to take a look at. If we take a look at what we were looking at right here, the supercell composite and the significant tornado parameter, the supercell composite has been quite interesting, honestly. The supercell composite has been around 8 to 9. I've seen values in double digits around 10 to 11 in some of these areas. If we take a look at the HER model right here, if we take a look at that, I want to see this real quickly, and we're seeing those values around 10 to 11 right there. And I am seeing a little bit more directional shear in parts of southeast Arkansas than I was seeing yesterday. So I want to take a look. I want to take a look at that right there and kind of take a quick interest. I mean, the HER is showing more of a directional shear, while the NAM is showing more of a speed shear situation. So there is a bit of disagreement between the models, because if it's a directional shear situation, we're going to see more of a tornado threat. If we see a vertical shear situation, we're going to see more of a wind threat or hail threat. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right here. If we look at the significant tornado parameter, this is for the HER run, and this is around this time. A value of 7.3, I just saw that. If we take a look at the SIG-C from earlier, we saw values much higher than that. If we take a look at that, around 8, try and get that. Oh, yep. Around 9. There was a value around 9 in there. I'll have to take a look. There it is. Okay, yeah, there it is, 9.2. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but that's quite extreme, and this is a scale out of 10 from what I've seen right here. And yeah, that's what's driving this moderate risk right here. Now we're going to go ahead and show you some of the soundings we have right here. This is the first one I have. This was taken in Louisiana right here. This is the sampling for Louisiana. Take a look at this SRH. We're looking at 335, 367, 343. That's really good for tornado development right there. If we take a look at the surface to 1 knot shear, it's surface to 1 kilometer shear, 41 knots. That's pretty good for tornado development right there. Surface to 3 kilometer, almost 50 knots. Surface to 6 kilometer, almost 70. That is going to cause supercell development. That is what's going to be driving this. Now, what I'm about to show you next is absolutely shocking right here. This was a sounding taken out of southeastern Arkansas right here. And that potential hazardous tornado last one is PDS tornado. If we take a look at the Cape, it's only around 1,400, so it's not terribly high, which is why the hail threat's not that big. Look at these SRH values, though. We're looking at surface to 1 kilometer, 530 SRH. That is quite excessive for SRH, and that's going to enhance potentially a lot of tornado development. The surface to 3 kilometer shear surface to 3 kilometer SRH 636. That is extreme territory right there, and the shear with this is 61 knots, 43 knots at 1 kilometer, 6 kilometers is at 66 knots, and there is more directional shear in southeast Arkansas right there than it is in Louisiana. So my thinking is, based on this, the main tornado threat's going to potentially be in parts of southeast Arkansas, northwest central Mississippi, parts of northeast Louisiana, where that moderate risk is issued. So, yeah, very interesting situation that's going on. Now, considering that this is all moved all in from left field, from yesterday we were at a 15%, 2 days ago, now we're at enhanced, then we're at moderate. Yeah, people are probably going to be asking me, is there a high risk that's possible? Now, I want to make something very clear. We have not had a day like that in 2 years, and I would say 2 things would have to happen for a high risk to be warranted. The first thing that would need to happen is that it's expected to be mostly cloudy through parts of these areas where the moderate risk is issued. So if it gets less cloudy and becomes more sunny, and we get some more sun, and there's more heating that goes through there that helps kind of potentially fuel these storms, we could definitely see a high risk with that. But the other thing that would need to happen is we would need less of speed shear and more directional shear, because what we have right now, predominantly according to the North American model, is speed shear. The HRRR is showing more directional shear, and depending on what the rest of the models are going for, will really depend on basically what the consensus will be. But there is some disagreement there. So if the NAM and the other models that have it as speed shear kind of make it directional shear, you could definitely have a high risk day with that. I'm not saying we're going to have that. Just take what I say with a grain of salt. But because a moderate risk is still a very serious threat right there. And we'll continue to update you here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. The Pat's Path Predictor channel, in conjunction with Storms United, will be streaming this event starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Time, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out. It helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.